Hello students, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to talk about female reproductive system. So in a female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries, and this pair of ovaries are connected to the fallopian tube or oviduct through a finger-like structures called fimbriae. Okay, so this oviduct open into a bag-like structure called uterus. So this uterus prepares every month for implantation and nourishing the fertilized egg, and this region is called cervix and this region is called vagina. So vagina is the space which collects the sperms, and the sperms will travel through this uterus to the fallopian tube, and here the fertilization will takes place in the fallopian tube or oviduct. So now let us see in detail. So let me clear it. So these ovaries will produce eggs every month. So through the fimbriae, they will enter the fallopian tube and egg will stay here. So this is region is called site of fertilization. So once the sperm cells enter into the vagina, so from the vagina they will travel, and they will reach this egg cell. So here the fertilization will takes place. So once the fertilization takes place, it will come to the uterus, and in the uterus, it will enter the endometrium. This zygote will enter the endometrium, and then it will get implanted into the endometrium. There it will grow for 9 months. Okay, then the childbirth will takes place. So if the egg is not fertilized, so it will be released out of the body. Along with this, the endometrium layer is also released out of the body. So every month there will be egg will be released, as well as the endometrium layer will be developed. So when the egg is not fertilized, egg along with the egg, this endometrium is also released out of the body. So now let us talk about the female reproductive system in a step-by-step manner. So this female reproductive system consists of site for the production of egg cells. Okay, so nothing but this is the ovary. And then the site of fertilization. Site of fertilization is the fallopian tube. And implantation of the embryo. This is uterus inside the endometrium. So the implantation of embryo will take place. So this is what happens. Now let us look at ovaries in more detail. So these females have pair of ovaries which are responsible for production of sex hormones as well as the germ cells. Like as in case of males, males will produce testosterone as well as sperms. Here also the females will produce sex hormones, that is nothing but estrogen, progesterone and testosterone, as well as the germ cells. So by birth, females contain thousands of immature eggs. So there are a lot of immature eggs are present in the ovary. So when the female reaches the age of puberty, it means the age of adolescence, one egg matures every month by one of the ovaries. Okay, so one egg will be matured in every menstrual cycle, and it will be released into the fallopian tube. So when the egg enters the fallopian tube through the finger-like structures called fimbriae. So this egg will enter the fallopian tube. Here there will be a finger-like structure. This is called as fimbriae. So in the oviduct or the fallopian tube, the egg will wait for fertilization. Here the egg is going to wait for the male gamete. So when it will getting fused with the male gamete, so then the fertilization will happen. And so as the fertilization takes place in the oviduct, this is called the site of fertilization. And there are two oviducts, and they open into a bag-like structure called uterus. So what is uterus? Why it is important? So when the fertilized egg is received by the uterus, the zygote is implanted into the lining of the uterus. It means the zygote from here, so zygote from here, so zygote from here, it is going to enter the uterus and it will enter this lining. Okay. So once it enters the lining of endometrium, it will start dividing. So this is entering of the embryo inside the endometrium is called implantation. Okay. So uterus prepares every month. So if the fertilized egg is there, it will enter the endometrium. If egg is not fertilized, so that egg will be released out of the body. So as I said in earlier, every month egg will be produced as well as the endometrium will also be developed. So if the fertilization happens, egg will enter the endometrium. If the fertilization does not happen, egg as well as endometrium will be released out of the body. Okay. So the embryo gets nutrition from the mother's blood with the help of placenta. So if the implantation happens, so the embryo needs nutritions. So these nutritions are received from the mother blood through a special tissue called placenta. Placenta is a disc-shaped structure. Okay, it has a disc-shaped structure which is not shown here. Okay, so because of this placenta, the development of the child will be taking place, and this takes place for the period of 9 months. So after that, the rhythmic movements. So there will be a contraction and relaxation of these uterine muscles. So these muscles will keep on contracting and relaxing. So because of this continuous rhythmic movements, the baby will be released out of the body. So now let us talk about the vagina. So this region is called as vagina. So this is the passage for the sperms, or during the sexual intercourse. So this region will receive the sperms. So once the sperms are released, what happens? That is what the fertilization happens, and then through the placenta it will receive the nutrients, or it will receive the nourishment. Then it will there for 9 months. Then because of the rhythmic movements, it will be released out of the body. What happens if it is not fertilized? The eggs lives for about 1 day. 1 day it will be alive. Then the uterus prepares every month. As I said in previous slides, it will slowly break and comes out of the vagina as blood and mucus. Okay. So this cycle takes place every month, and this is called as menstruation. So it usually lasts about 2 to 8 days. So if you want more details about menstruation, you can refer class 8 textbook. Okay. So now let us look at a few questions which are usually asked in the exam. So write the functions of following parts of human female reproductive system. Ovary produces eggs. Uterus prepares every month. Fallopian tube, site of fertilization. Oviduct, it is also a site of fertilization. Uterus, the same question again repeated here. Describe in brief the structure and function of placenta. It is a disc-shaped structure through which embryo is connected to the mother, and nourishment is received by the embryo through this placenta. How embryo gets nourishment? That is again same question, that is placenta. Name the parts where fertilization takes place. It's in fallopian tube or oviduct. Implantation or embryo takes place in uterus. So identify the parts. So this one is the fallopian tube, ovaries, uterus, cervix, and this is the vagina. So how does embryo get nourishment from the mother body? Describe in brief. Again, they are asking question about placenta. So what is placenta? Describe its structure and function. So the question for framing is different, but the answer will be same. So thank you for watching the video. Try to answer all the questions on your own by reading the textbooks. In the next video, let us talk about reproductive health.